Okay. So welcome to, I don't know what week this is. Could be 8, 7, 8. We are over halfway through. We're about halfway through. And I'd love to do first a check-in with all of our main 3-month goals, how we're doing, measuring our what do you, oh my, I'm totally losing my words right now. Measuring, what do we want to measure? Not our success, but our progress. I totally lost that word right now. Wow. I even went running this morning to try and get in the zone and get focused. I don't run like at all. And I was like, I'm going to do this. And obviously it's not helping. So that's sad. But anyway.
I think I just forgotten that word too, because I'm nowhere, I'm nowhere closer to getting it done.
You're like, progress? What? I don't
What's
know.
that word?
Maybe we're forgetting it for a reason.
Progress. That's a French word, right? I think I've heard of it before.
Do you guys know who Paul McKenna is? He's a hypnotist. He was very popular, like, I don't know, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And I used to watch his like TV specials, and he would make people forget words. So it's sort of like that, like progress? I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I was a Freudian slip. I didn't slip anything. I held it back. So anyway, yeah, wow. Okay, so progress, hopefully. You've made more than I have, because obviously I guess I'm not. Anyway, let's start there with our progress. So measuring what you wanted to accomplish in these 3 months and how you feel about your progress and how far you've come. If you need to adjust your 3-month goal at all, or if you need to adjust what you're doing to get there. So I wouldn't adjust the 3-month goal just because you haven't done enough to get there, unless it really doesn't make sense in the grand scheme of your entire goal of where you're going. So who wants to go first?
I can go first.
Awesome.
So I'll get it out of the way. I am done. What I very quickly learned is that I just didn't give myself like enough of a challenge, because I'm done.
What was your goal and what did you accomplish?
I wanted to get my capabilities deck down for both businesses. And I wanted to build a website for the second business.
Mm-hmm.
Which ended up going a lot quicker than I thought it would. It really is amazing how much more you can get done when there's 2 people involved. And like not having to like write all the copy myself, like that ended up saving me a lot more time than I thought, because that's something that I didn't know that my business partner like really loved doing. So I was like, great. I was like, here's the framework, go crazy. But yeah, so I don't know, like I'm done. And like, now I'm trying to figure out like, okay, like what do I do next? And I think, I mean, at this point I'm in like the refinement stages. So I think I just have to like go through, and I don't know, I guess make it better, because there's always room for improvement.
Well, what's your overall goal? Because I know you have your 2 businesses right now. So you have the one with the partner,
Mm-hmm.
who didn't hear before what Chelsea's journey is. So you have one with a partner. It's more, she's marketing heavy, right? Mm-hmm. Or that's what her experience is.
Yeah, that's social media.
You have your own stuff on your own, like separate. So long-term thinking though, where do you see yourself?
Honestly, like I see moving most of, if not all of my energy over to the second business. With
the partner?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Because it's a lot less stressful, but also because it is, we've positioned ourselves into an industry that we both really enjoy being in. And typically like those clients are just kind of easier and like nicer to work with than the type of clients we kind of end up pulling in on our own. Yeah, no, I think with, I don't know if it's even going to happen like this year, but we're both trying to like position our solo businesses to kind of taper off, not disappear necessarily, but just kind of taper the work off where it is, we're putting more time, more energy, more focus into the, that craft brewery niche, mm-hmm. Which we both really enjoy being in. So that was why I wanted to get these like foundational elements done, and like why they were probably the most important things I've done in the last month and a half. just like sorting out like what are our packages going to look like, you know, what is it going to look like for us to work together, like what things, you know, are okay. I guess like that's probably the next thing I need to figure out is like we need to get like all like the legal stuff out of the way. And
yeah, so that could be your next thing to tackle, because there's a point in refining and optimizing where your ROI is non-existent.
Yeah.
Like it's going to start to decline, where you're putting in all this effort and you're not getting anything in return. So it sounds like you're probably fine with your capabilities where it's at, right? In the website, and to now move on to the next thing. Because you want to start getting more clients, I'm sure, with that second business too. That would allow you to quickly.
Yeah. Well, we did just close a golf course today.
Wow. So, fantastic.
Yeah, totally like kind of like out of left field, but like it involved a restaurant like on the grounds. And so we kind of were like, it's food and beverage related. Like we'll take it. Instead of, you know, me trying to tackle it on my own. But yeah, like literally I just got back from that meeting and it was an 1.5 hour drive, which was super fun. So I'm exhausted, but like, yeah, it's just like, it's nice because like we're now getting to the point where like we are starting to kind of get a little bit more business in, and, you know, and these like contracts that we're getting, like they're so much larger than like what we would be getting on our own, which is also very nice.
Yes, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. So do you feel confident moving forward in your new tasks as far as like at least the legal stuff, and then your packages too?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, congratulations for hitting your goal.
Thanks.
And then closing that deal. That's great.
Yeah, that was really exciting.
Very cool. Who wants to go next? Anyone want to volunteer? Guys, you're so quiet this morning. No one's as brave as Chelsea.
I vote Brittany.
I was going to say, that's hilarious.
I guess it's me.
No, I got it. Okay. It's going to, after you, Brittany. So Brittany, you're going to pick the next person to go. So it's going to be like the popcorn, you know, like when you're a kid and popcorn reading, you were going to do that. To pick the next person.
Okay. So I'm going right now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So reflecting back on my Q3 goals, I wanted to launch my course, and then I wanted to start transitioning into doing branding for health and wellness. And so far, like I didn't quantify those goals as much as I wish I would have. But in terms of those two broad goals, I feel really good about the progress that I've made and like how that's going to impact Q4. So far, like I launched the course and actually made 4 sales, which I feel really fantastic about because that was or is my first class ever. And I'm already getting like a ton of messages from current students of like, you know, this is amazing. And like they're telling their friends about it. So it's just like, it's kind of like snowballing into something that I wanted it to be. And so I already feel really good about it because I did the minimum amount possible to actually launch this. Like I've been building out I'm building out the content the day of because I was just like beforehand, I was like, you'll get all these things. Like I'm going to build out that content, but I don't want to do it if you're not going to buy it. So it feels really good to do that. And launching this beta round is just kind of almost like redefining what I want in terms of having a design business because I'm starting to see more opportunities to make more sales outside of just client relationships. And that is exciting to me because for the longest time ever, I've been trying to figure out different ways to make income outside of just working with clients directly because just like that's great and everything, but you know, you go through these feast and famine stages of trying to find work. And like this year has been, you know, slow for work for me personally. And so just like, well, how can I still make money? Because this is what I do. And so just open up so many ways to do what I've always wanted to do. And so I'm excited to actually like start implementing those and like really building this thing out bigger than what I initially intended it to be. And so I feel really great about that. And then in terms of my other goal for transitioning into health and wellness, I have started doing that more just in terms of just like talking to more people, having more Zoom calls and like meeting people like in person and like just kind of doing market research at this point of like just learning about what they're struggling with, how I can position on my messaging on my website when I decide to actually like dive into redoing that. So I've talked to a couple clients who are in that space who I sent proposals to. I'm just like waiting to hear back. So yeah, I feel generally really good about like the progress that I've made, even though like the money is small, but like that's not like the only quantifier of success for me at this point. It's just like I'm having all these small successes throughout the week, and just like in personal relationships, and like it feels good.
That's awesome. Well, congrats on launching the course, getting those sales. That's huge. That's huge. And it's fun to see that things are opening up for you, to see the other possibilities and how you can make money. Because a lot of times, and I know I was there too, where I was pigeonholed into thinking like the only way I should be making money is direct to client type of projects. And so it's cool to see that you're seeing all these other opportunities. And as creatives, like, you guys aren't limited to just doing client work. Like, we're creative, so we can find a need and fill it, whatever that is. That could be a product like you're doing with your course. It could be an actual physical product. It could be so many other things. So it's really cool to see you doing that. And also, I wanted to touch upon what you said about you're building out your course material day of. Mm-hmm. It's so smart to do. And what I wanted to say too, I heard when I went to Art Center with Chris for the grad show, we were talking to one of the students. His work was stellar. He was one of the guys that had interned at Pentagram, worked with Brian Collins, and then he went to Art Center after because he wanted to refine his skill. It's like, okay, cool. Do you even need to? I don't know. But his work was really good. But he said that one of the classes took up so much time that the other class, he just dedicated, I think he said that 2 hours before the class to do the homework. So he gave himself that parameter, and it was, I mean, his work he had to do, it was like these magazines and booklets. It was layout, and it was a lot of work, but he gave himself that time, and that was it right before the class. And so it sounds very similar to what you're doing with your course, and he had wonderful work. And so sometimes we do a disservice to ourselves when we give ourselves way too much time to do something. So it's very, because it makes you do it. Yeah, like and you can't perfect it. You just have to run with it. So how do you feel about doing that? Like, has it worked well for you?
It does, because I have very focused like working time, and like I started working out this morning, and I was like, okay, I have my class in like 5 hours, so I have to build out my content and the presentation and worksheets. So I got to get my ass focused and do this, so just like I get too distracted sometimes when I have a loose deadline, and so having this hard deadline of, I know people are expecting this from me, and I have to show up for myself to show up for them, like that. I love it. Like, it's I'm producing like better content, and I feel more confident in my abilities, like, and plus it just, having the whole day to focus on it is allowing me to like kind of prepare myself to actually talk about it. And so I'm already like kind of in that headspace, and I'm just like, yeah, like this is great. Like, let's have fun. So yeah, I definitely like doing it that way better, instead of like giving myself a couple weeks.
Yeah, and tweaking it and redoing it and thinking it's not perfect. Whereas now what's so great is you're forcing yourself to focus. Mm-hmm. That, like you said, you're going to be prepared for when you actually talk to people, and that it's focused. Whereas the 2-week time frame, you'd be thinking about too many things and what you should include, and your mind would be scattered and not just on the subject at hand. So very cool.
I think like the best part about that too is just like with this particular instance that I know I'm already ahead of like where these students are at. So like literally anything that I can offer them is already better than where they're at, so like the bar is low. Obviously I'm going to offer a lot, but yeah, I mean, it's just like cool to know that as well. So
yeah, very cool. What are you working on for the rest of the 3 months?
So for Q4 or the remainder of Q3?
The remainder of Q3.
The remainder of Q3, I actually, I really want to actually start building out the full course side by side with this beta round. Since I'm already like building out the content, I might as well build out a bigger version. Because ideally, I would love to offer a discount to the current students. So I'm going to do that. I want to start building out like blog and like webinar content for this particular side of my business now. and just kind of really dive into it. I think it feels great right now. It feels easier than trying to find clients to get in the door to pay me. And it feels great to be able to like flex my skills in this way. So I really just want to build this out for like blogs or making like, you know, ebooks to sell and just like let it take me where it goes. So
That's awesome. Good job. Congratulations.
Thank you. And I get to pick the next person. Ooh, I'm gonna pick Finn.
I knew it. So no, I haven't. What are we doing? Just talking.
Progress? What?
I haven't really moved on it. I think that my goal was to finish my lead magnet, but that's been on pause for the past 10 days or so. And mainly I would say it's because my attention has been sort of shifted a little bit, not from, I mean, I still want to get the lead magnet done, but I've had some conversations recently with friends and colleagues and just sort of random people. And it's kind of reminded me that the design thing kind of, so I don't know if anybody knows this, but I studied clinical social work like 12, 13 years ago. Before that, I had dreams of studying psychology, and I have a literature background. I dabbled in sort of coaching a few years ago. That didn't pan out, but I had intentions of sort of going into coaching. And I sort of was reminded of that recently, and in how the design thing kind of came out of nowhere and took me a little bit off course, off the course. Like I veered a little bit off the course that I had set in my mind a few years ago. All good, I'm not complaining, but now I'm feeling a pull towards going back to coaching and finding a way to infuse that into the branding world. And sort of maybe, so anyway, so that's been on my mind recently. I've been doing some research. I might go back to school and do an accredited coaching program or something. I'm not really sure, but I've been doing a lot of research on it, and there's a lot up here right now. So it's kind of taken me away a little bit from the lead magnet temporarily. So that's my update.
But you have been producing content, though.
I have. Oh, yeah, I have.
So you've been doing a lot of things. Maybe it wasn't exactly lined up with what you had originally planned, but you have been making progress on that.
Yeah. So it hasn't, I just posted on Instagram. I'm pushing myself to do a little bit more video. So I posted something a couple of days ago. I just had a question today, this random Instagram question. And I thought, oh, why don't I actually put a video up instead of doing, so I'm pushing myself in certain ways to go outside of my comfort zone, and like writing different ideas still with the content. Yes, absolutely. So
yeah, good job. Well, that's okay though, about you veering away from the lead magnet, and even if you have to put that aside for now until you figure that out, what you're going to do, at least you're still moving forward and getting eyeballs on you, so that whenever you do pivot or whatever you do decide to end up with, that people will already know you and they'll trust you, and then they'll get to know what you do that's new.
Right. And really the content that I put out anyway isn't really necessarily design focused anyway. It never really has been. So it's not too much of a shift from whatever from what it is I've been doing. It's just a little bit of a reframing or relabeling some things in how I sort of compartmentalize things in my mind and how I look at them. So yeah, that's, yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel confident in moving forward for the rest of the 3 months? Do you know what you're going to be working on? Do you know what you're going to be focusing on?
Again, I feel like it's still very related to what I've been doing already. Like it doesn't, like the lead magnet is still a priority. Sort of getting myself out there is still a priority. It's funny, the other day a friend asked me she was like, Finn, do you want clients? And I didn't answer with a yes immediately. And I think that's just because right now I'm really more feeling like I'm sort of using my business and my work as a way to just challenge myself and grow and explore a little bit and just try things out, and not wanting to sort of put the pressure of needing clients right now. I booked I'm still doing things though. Like I booked a room in a co-working space for next week to do a full day sort of strategy with a friend of mine. So that'll be, we have no idea what we're doing. I don't know what I'm helping her with, but like I'm still wanting to sort of exercise that muscle and build on that skill set. So nothing's really necessarily changed. It just looks a little bit different, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good job for still moving forward and not using the lack maybe of clarity to stop you.
Right.
I just want to make sure we're not stalling at all. So
exactly. So because I found that the labels I was putting on things, or like, oh, I have to figure this out, I have to know, like stopping me from sort of moving. But really, it's the same thing. It's nothing's really changing. It's anyway. But yeah.
Good.
I hear you.
Awesome. You want to pick the next person?
Okay. We'll do Katie. I feel like I haven't seen Katie in a while. So.
Hi.
Hey, Katie.
Hey. Yeah, I was so busy that I don't think I was here last 2 weeks.
That's okay. How have things been going for you in your 3-month goal? I know for you were trying to figure out where your leads were coming from. Have you gotten any closer to figuring that out?
I actually completely forgot about that goal. No, I don't think I was working in that direction at all. The thing is that I hired a marketing company to help me with just like getting out there, because as you know, I was going through lots of different networking events, and I was, trying to get subscribers, trying to do some calls, like so many different things. And what I got out from that company is that basically they were suggesting me to specialize in something, and they gave me like 3 to 5 different options, and in a sense, like what would work the best. And I thought that I would be the most passionate, like in specializing in fashion. But that's just what I thought until I started to do like research and who I would work with and how much I would be able to charge and what is exactly that's in fashion, and how is that even something that's possible. And then we were talking about like health and wellness, and then I realized that I actually really like that, and I already work with a lot of like hospitals in Orlando and some products and fitnesses and so on. So I realized that I really want to go into more like health and wellness, and probably like products, so like essential oils, so body lotions and things like that. So I completely put my goal on the side, because I kind of like was going into this direction, trying to figure out what I want to specialize in. I also, as I wrote a book, and the book will be published next month, so I was trying to figure out like how to promote that, how to, like all different things, like what I need in terms of like publishing, what kind of content I need, and so on. So I felt that I had like daily goals and weekly goals, but not like 3 months goals.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. It sounds like you're doing a lot though, and you've got a lot accomplished. Funny you should say about the health and wellness. I'm actually seeing that what the fashion industry used to be, I feel like that's what health and wellness is now. So it's new fashion. It kind of seems like that with everything that's popping up. And so it's the new thing that people are actually investing in, maybe more so than they are with the fashion, especially since fashion's going more against fast fashion. So against the different ways of making fashion. It's not good for the environment and for people. So
yeah.
Interesting.
Because at first, when I heard about health and wellness, I was like, oh my God, it's probably, just service providers like hospitals, spas, and, like things like that. So like, I am not sure that I would be happy with that. But then once I saw what kind of products exist out there, like everything for yoga, like yoga mats, different shoes, different running shoes, As I mentioned, like body lotions, face lotions, like so many
Workout clothes too. I mean, even that where there's that overlap of fashion too. So
yeah, exactly. And there's
well,
many things that are overlapping in the beauty industry as well that I also like. So I feel that that's the right choice. So I'm going to talk with Brittany a little bit.
yes, I was going to say
health and wellness. And so, yeah.
that's great. And for Brittany and for you and anyone else that's trying to specialize in a specific industry, you can even think about beyond just health and wellness that there are even deeper niches you can go into. Like my one friend who I've mentioned that they do branding for health and wellness influencers, but I wouldn't even say influencers. I'd actually say celebrities. So they are the brand strategists for celebrity health and wellness influencers. I don't know how they say it, but essentially they're working with celebrities who got famous in another realm. So usually it was in the sports area. So Olympic athletes, boxers, like all these different types of people who were really like celebrities in their time, but now they're realizing like they're not doing that anymore. So they have to do something. And so they're coming out with their different products and programs. And so they're more on the celebrity side. So there are so many niches just even within that big umbrella that you could probably explore too.
Because I was originally thinking like health and wellness, and then I can choose, like services or products. That's definitely product. So like health and wellness products, it can always you can always narrow it down. So
well, that's a good place.
That's what I've been working on. Not much on like where my leads are coming from, because I feel like I want to set my business up like first before I go into that. I'm still getting leads from everywhere, but I'm just trying to then I have to change even the brand strategy documents, my agreements, and everything, and add more to my portfolio in terms of health and wellness products that I did in the past. So figure all those things out inside the business, and then go out there with the marketing company and figure out where I need to be in order to get the right clients.
Good for you. So what are you going to be working on for the rest of these 3 months?
I have no idea. What is left?
Well, I guess it sounds like it would be to set up the internal part of your business to be pointed towards health and wellness.
Yeah.
So if you're able to just write down the specific things that you're going to be doing to do that. So if that is updating your agreement, your strategy document, anything internal that you need to change. And then it's probably one of the main things is doing that.
Yeah. How much is left? It's 1 month left, right?
I have to check how many. I think so. Maybe just over a month.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So that's my goal.
Perfect. That's great. Do you want to pick the next person?
Sure. Who's left? Craig.
Was that me? I missed that. Cool. So reminder, my 3-month goal was to finalize the sort of design of my side project. It's going swimmingly. Oh, so good.
I sense so much sarcasm in your voice.
Sorry, say again?
I said I sense so much sarcasm in your voice.
Yeah. Really? No, this week has been a lot better. I've been getting up a lot earlier and not checking my email and sort of, being in responsive mode and stuff like that. I've even been taking energy vitamins and stuff like that to try and help me. But yeah, so I've actually made some good progress. It's relative, but good progress this week. And then also, it's been crazy busy because I took on another contract, and then also we just recently pushed a large update on the mobile experience for this price comparison website, and we've been watching all the sort of full story videos and checking the interactions and then conversions and everything else, and we found loads of little ways that we can improve the conversions, or so we hope. So it's given me a long, massive list of all these changes throughout the mobile experience that I need to do, which is what I've been doing recently. So it's annoying because it's consuming, and I was hoping that I'd kind of let that rest for a little bit, but it's straight back on. So making progress, not as quickly as I would have hoped, but I think that's because I have high expectations. So I'm still moving forward with it.
Good. Well, I know we talked about last time too about you had said if you were able to do that one thing of waking up early, that it would at least get things moving for you. So you accomplished that. That's huge because that is so. I myself just waking up to run this morning. It's like I could not do this. I don't have to. So congratulations for getting that goal accomplished. It will.
Yeah. So I mean, it's 5:30, so it's all right. But then I had a wedding this weekend, and I was away for 2 days as well. So that knocked me out of sync. But yeah, ultimately it helps massively getting up that early, I think. So.
Yeah, definitely. What are you going to be concentrating on that side project the rest of this chunk?
Yeah, so what have we got now? Is it however many?
It's either a month or a little over a month left.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Well, I would like to have locked in a sort of preliminary design with my sort of co-founder, and then set up the limited company, set up the business bank account, sorted out contracts for ownership, and then had the investment transferred into the accounts by that time. I think it's a lot to ask, but I think that's what that's my goal really, to get to that point. Great. Because I've already had discussions with my developers and about it, because what I kind of want to do is kind of chuck them a few points and a few percent, and then have them work at a reduced rate throughout the contract, throughout us developing it initially, at least until we get post revenue. Mm-hmm. So that'll mean that our runway is larger. So they seem to be on board. So I'm just going to structure it. If they take 25% pay cut, I'll give them X amount. If they take a 50% pay cut, I'll give them Y amount. So I've got that to do as well. But at the moment, it's just head down to try and finalize, because sometimes it's an absolute head. You know what I mean? So it's such a large thing, and sometimes it's like deer in the headlights. I have to go, no, just concentrate on this one user journey here, because otherwise it becomes a crazy minefield. But yeah, getting there.
Definitely. Well, for you and for everyone else too, I would encourage you to, whatever that you said you wanted to finish in these 3 months, write it down right now. And when we're done, so whatever you want to accomplish, so you just put what is it that you want to accomplish, put that down, and then underneath it, put how, and then just list out the different tasks that you're going to have to do to reach that. I would encourage you to do that just so you can stay focused on where you're headed in this month that's left, instead of just doing whatever comes to you. So great, that goes for you too.
Cheers, thank you.
Yeah, and can you pick the next tribute?
Raul.
Hello. I haven't been following any of this, so except just listening to you guys. I'm just trying to catch up. So I don't really have much to share.
Rahul, what do you want to do in the next month in your business?
Okay, well, right now I'm working on a side hustle. I'm just trying to get that up and running. So in the next month, ideally, having that store going, having products purchased. Aside from that, having my personal brand also launched. So that is in the works right now.
What is that going to look like? Is that going to be a site? Or what?
Yep, there's going to be a site, new copy, new messaging. There is going to be new content on my personal page. Previously, a lot of photography stuff. I know I've had this conversation with Melinda where I couldn't figure out why I wasn't getting any leads. So it was just a matter of repositioning. And ever since I did that, it's only been like 3 or 4 posts that I've already seen a shift. So going to continue on doing that. And my goal is to hopefully build out weekly content, probably spend like Saturday, Sunday, and just pump out content for that. So those are the 2 biggest ones, my personal brand website and the store for my side hustle.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Anything? Are you? Never mind. I don't have any more questions for you right now. I will later, I'm sure. Do you want to pick the next person?
Sure. Who hasn't gone yet?
Lavinia, Sasha, and Emma.
Okay, let's do Lavinia.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. It's been a while.
Yes. So how have things been going for you, and how are you doing towards your 3-month goal?
To be honest, I don't remember exactly what I said my goal would be by the end of this, but I do feel like I'm making progress. I know when I started this whole journey with you guys, I was much more backwards in terms of figuring out how I want to reposition myself, my whole rebrand. And now that I've finished my website, to me, that's a huge, huge deal. I feel like I have I have quite a bit more clarity in terms of how I want to present myself and what I want to do. I am still a little bit confused about who I want to work with once I'm going to make the website public. And I know that's weird because I should already know that to tailor the content, because some feedback that I've gotten on the website is that it's a little text heavy. And to me, I was just trying to explain the services and make the people understand why they're valuable and how it would change their business. But I'm wondering if that's just me still being stuck in the mentality of working with the same clients that I've been working with so far, which is people just starting their business who don't really know what these things are or how it would help them. And now I'm like, I don't know if it's just me holding myself back, because if I were to go to bigger clients who are already aware of what art direction means and what brand strategy means and all these things, then I don't have to spell it out on the website. So I'm kind of confused there about where's that sweet middle ground of giving enough information, but not too much information.
Right. Do you have, being that you don't really know who you're targeting yet, that it might be a hard question to answer, but do you have anything mapped out on how your client journey is going to look like? So how someone is going to be aware of you, where they're going to find you, why they're even going to get on your website, or how they're going to find it? Have you mapped that out at all?
I haven't written it down, but I mean, before it was a lot of referrals. So to me, once I launched the website, I would probably still go to my network and say, hey, this is what I'm doing now. It's different, but it might, make other people that I haven't worked with before in my network all of a sudden be like, oh, now you're relevant to what I'm doing.
Right.
And from then, I want to start really thinking about advertising, which is not something that I've done before since it was always referrals. So I do want to work on a lead magnet as well and start collecting emails. And I am doing a lot of stuff on Instagram, which I'm really active with, and it is growing slowly but steadily. And just trying to get more attention there. What I really want to do is, which I never done before, is really just email people and say, hey, I have a list of ideas of some businesses I would like to pitch ideas to, and just see what they say.
Yeah. Could you start there?
Yeah, I could, for sure.
So with the website, and I would love to hear if anyone else has any ideas with this too, as far as your website copy, this might be something that's just living, that you update and change as needed. And because because the thing is, if you try to update it without getting specific feedback, you're just going to try to be perfecting it, and you're not going to really know the target you're hitting. So I would treat even all of our websites as they're living, they're not done, they're not perfect, they never will be, and they're always being updated. So as you talk to clients and as you pitch them ideas, try to listen to the words they use. Try to listen to the questions they ask you. And then once you get a handle on, oh, this is what people are looking for, take their verbiage and then put it on your website, verbatim. Have the question that they ask and then answer it. So go with what you have right now. It's probably fine. And because you get more jobs from referrals too. You don't have to worry about your site being the thing that's the all end all. Like, oh no, if you lose them there, they're gone forever. It doesn't sound like that's what it is for you. Mm-hmm. So don't let that stop you. Just, it sounds like you have what you need to move forward, and just move forward with probably the pitch decks too, or networking, like reaching out to your network right now. Mm-hmm. Does that sound possible for you, or is there anything holding you back?
The only thing that's holding me back is that I want to finish. I want to have 3 new projects for my portfolio. One of them is I'm finishing like this week with the photographer that I'm working with, which would lead to the second one, which I said I'm going to do her branding as well. So these will happen like fairly quickly. And then the third one is like halfway done. So I wanted, when I make my website public, I wanted to have these 3 new pieces there so that, you know, it's not just like one thing in my portfolio, since I don't want to use any old work.
Okay, great.
And I think probably within a month and a half, it should all be done.
Great. Okay, so about the time that this 3-month ends, you'll have it done.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's great. That's wonderful. So then right after that, you could start pitching.
Exactly.
Okay, great. That's perfect. Is there anything else that you're struggling with or holding you back or anything?
I think I'm not really struggling with it, but I don't know if I mentioned this before, like my dad is publishing a book and he's insisting that I design it. And I want to help him, but it's also coming at a time when, okay, if I'm going to put this website out there and I want to start blasting people, and then I get some leads who say I need some stuff right away, I'm going to say, oh, sorry, I can't do it for the next month because I'm working on this book. So it's gonna be a little tricky timing wise how I'm gonna do the book, because it's quite a long book. It's like over 100 pages, so it won't happen in a week.
Yeah.
So I just have to be careful with the timing of when I do the website, when I publish it, and when to do the book.
Yeah, definitely. And even whenever we work with family or friends too, to have the clear expectations of whether that is timeline or anything like that, to treat it as much like a client project as possible. Have deadlines, have meetings. It might feel weird doing that with your dad, but it does help.
Luckily, he's pretty understanding, so I think it will be okay. I just don't want to keep postponing it because I've postponed it already 100 times. Yeah.
Well, good for you. Awesome. I think the last person, Sasha, is unable to speak because of technical difficulties. So, Emma, are you able to jump on? If you can hear us, I'll put it in the chat.
She also said in the chat that she's not able to talk today.
Oh, she's driving. Got it. Thank you, guys. Brittany, did you mention something about email? Do you want to hop on and?
Yeah, basically, I know that you were mentioning emailing clients like directly to get work, and I just know that I've touched on that probably in like previous calls, but it's worked for me at least to get people on the phone, which is like snowballed to more people being aware of like my services. So I think I posted a couple weeks or months back. At this point, it's all a blur. Basically just like an email script that I was using to customize to people that I was emailing, and I thought that could be helpful if she's looking to email people directly. So
awesome. Yes, thank you for sharing that. Well, while Rahul is still here, because I'll update on mine, and then Rahul, since we're recording later, I would love for us to get feedback on what we're going to be recording later. I think it could kind of be cool. So I posted, I know I talked about it a couple weeks ago, so I'll give my update really quick. My 3-month goal, which I'll have to look up specifically what it was too. I think it was, my goal in general has been to move to more passive income, specifically focusing on products, putting out more content, and collaboration. So those are focuses for me, and then I want my client work to start going down as my passive income and coaching goes up. So getting more income from that. So I'm focusing more on that. So posting more on Instagram, trying to figure out some funnels within my email to up my affiliate commissions, and then eventually either collaborating with the future on a course, creating one myself, or something along those lines. That we haven't figured that out yet. So there's that. So in the meantime, I did post one very minimal mini guide on Instagram that I was fighting myself on doing. So if you read my newsletter, like the last one, I talked about all the reasons why I didn't want to post those mini guides on Instagram, have a lot of excuses for not doing it. And Chris was like, just do it. Trust me on this. And so I did just one. I mean, the other one, I don't know really if that counts, and Rahul has been doing them too. And so Rahul, if you want to jump on and share your experience of how that changed your positioning, because I know we had talked about that previously too. And for me, I noticed tons of saves. So a lot of bookmarks. Normally mine run between like people bookmark between 1 and 200. If it's a good post, it has a lot of information. This one was over 700 bookmarked. And so I know people might go back later and read it. They might just think they're going to go back later and read it. But in any event, I realize that I'm becoming top of mind for them. And that even if they don't fully read what I have to say, at least I'm building trust with them, that they're seeing what I'm putting out and they're beginning to trust me more. So I'm going to keep doing them. I'm taking old content. I'm repurposing it. I'm trying to, I'm treating it like a conversation, less like diagrams, because that overwhelms me. And I can't get myself to do any type of illustrations or diagrams, very minimal if I do at all. So I'm treating it as like, as you scroll, it's like you're having a conversation with me, very similar to if you were reading my newsletter. So I'm trying to do that, and I'll see how it works. But Rahul, do you want to share your experience with and why you started doing them?
Yeah, so the same thought was like, I don't want to start following what other people are doing. But in the back of my mind, I was like, I want to do it. It's just, how am I going to differentiate? And then in the background, Melinda and I were having conversations about my personal account, which was mainly photography stuff. And I was only posting that because I was genuinely interested in photography. And I was also subconsciously kind of avoiding trying to separate design from my business account. Now, the moment I made that shift where I started posting design related things, which it's only been, I think, like I mentioned, 4 or 5 posts, I've instantly gained, I think in a week's time, 100 followers. And these are all designers. I got 2 leads on Facebook, which are from people that have known me for a long time. This is just validation that based on how I was sharing, I guess, my thoughts and whatever position I had of myself was exactly what people looked at me as, which was they started inquiring before they started messaging me about photography, because I was doing that for like a year, even though I've been a designer for the longest time. So that was like a major validation for me to like, okay, I was obviously doing something wrong. The biggest conflict I have is how do I remove my love for photography and place it in here. So now I'm just trying to include photography in some of the posts and kind of mixing and matching them. But yeah, the mini blogs, like I started off with them and they were a complete hit. I barely used to get any sort of saves, and I've already hit, I think, like 30 or 40 saves on some of my mini blogs. And I think like once you get over that hump of doing them, they actually become really fun, because now I'm looking at everything that I am absorbing as far as information and seeing how do I share it in bite-sized pieces. So it gets a little bit more exciting to do that, and already have a bunch of ideas. So yeah, I think definitely a very, very good move to do it. Timing is everything. And since right now this is what people are craving, I think whoever has that thought in their head that they want to do it, but something's blocking them, I think just do it.
Yeah, I would agree with you 100% on that. Anyone thinking about doing them and you're having trouble, or have you been doing them yet?
I've personally been considering doing them as I kind of dive into doing this like creative business essentials. And I think I'm probably struggling with the same like mindset shift that like you were struggling with, in terms of like, so many people are doing them. Like, what do I have new to say? Like, why should I do them? I think they're cool. They could be beneficial, but I don't know. I think it's just, for me, it's just a mindset shift, and realizing that like, if people gravitate towards that and they want to hear more from you, then obviously you're offering some sort of value to them. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I know it was a big hump to get over. Yeah, no, go ahead.
Are we talking about the carousel things?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where you're teaching something or educating or sharing some type of idea. Yeah, those things.
I've actually started noticing people that aren't sharing any content related stuff. Just regular people even sharing quotes. They're starting to do it in the carousel manner, and even if they're not consistent, like they're designed poorly and they just look ugly, but the information on there, even if it's just quotes, are getting solid engagements. So I think it's just proof of concept that people are maybe changing the way they're reading stuff. And it's almost like Pinterest on steroids, right?
Yeah.
It's the easiest way for people to find things. So yeah.
And
I've noticed too that people will also, it lends itself to networking way better or way easier, because a lot of people will either quote people or mention people in their post more so than if they were just sharing a random design about something, that it increases this sort of networking and the shareability on them too, in people sharing them in their stories. And then that opens up conversations. If somebody shares yours, you can go and thank them and open up that conversation with them. So it does increase that too. I totally cut somebody off who wanted to say something.
I think that was me, but I was just wanted to make a quick note. To use carousels actually might be a good idea, even if it's just 2 or 3 images, even if it's not like regardless of the content, just because it gives people a second opportunity to come across your post. Because if they scroll past it the first time, the next time they scroll past it, it'll, Instagram will automatically show the second image in that in the series. So if the first one doesn't make them stop, the second one might. So it's just an idea.
Yeah,
I also kind of look at them as an opportunity to even showcase your design aesthetic. Like, they are in themselves little tiny pieces of design, and why not use it to show what you can do?
Exactly.
And also, I showed Finn the other day one that I stumbled upon that was very different than what I've seen before, where the background was illustrated and then the typography was incorporated in the illustration. And it was done in a really, I've never seen something like that. And maybe I'll share it on the group. It was really cool.
Are you in the Instagram DM group that we have?
I don't think so.
So if any of you aren't in that yet, DM me.
Sorry, I'm just going to mute it.
That's fine. DM me on Instagram and I'll add you. So it's a lot of people in this group. It's for our group. So if you could share it in there, that would be awesome. So just DM me, I'll add you, and then you can share it. And then if you post something new and you want to increase engagement, then just put your post in there, and then we can hop on and get to kick the algorithm so that it can get more views. Because what I'm noticing too, with that post that I did, the first chunk of people that see it, because I'm looking at insights, and the first amount of people that look at the post are your followers. And if your followers like it and they're bookmarking it and they're engaging with it, then it starts getting hit on the hashtags. At least that's what I'm noticing with my post. So I'll see that it didn't reach if it reached 7 people with my hashtags in the first hour. Then I look 12 hours later and it's thousands, because I got engagement with my followers. So I don't know if that's completely true, but that's at least what I'm observing with my posts as well. So if we can help each other get it noticed when we first post, that I'm sure would help a little bit. And there was one other thing. Oh, I think I might have mentioned this last week, but Chris was saying to me that when he reads information or he's trying to learn something, he reads it in order to teach it. So he doesn't just read it in order to remember. He's like, how can I package this in a way that I can retell it to somebody in a very simple way? And that really helped me, because I'm usually just reading to consume, to keep consuming, to learn, to consume, and it doesn't go anywhere. And then when I think about teaching it, I'm like, oh, I have to sit back down and think about how am I going to retell this. But he sits down and his main goal is to then reteach it. And that is really helpful too. And so the more that we show our expertise that way, even if you're attracting designers, that is okay. And if you guys didn't read my post that I screenshotted, Chris's comment about doing content for designers is not a bad thing, and how Andrew Kramer got in contact with JJ Abrams, or JJ Abrams actually got in contact with Andrew Kramer because of Andrew Kramer's work that he's been putting out in content for designers. So it's okay to be putting out stuff that only designers are into, because designers work for large companies hire people like us. So that's okay. And you can work for other agencies too. It doesn't mean you always have to go direct to the client. A ton of stuff that Blind worked on was because they got hired from a larger agency. So the stuff with Xbox, that was from a different agency, and another agency hired them. So remember that it's okay if that is one of the things stopping you from creating these things, that it's okay. Just build something somebody wants to see and be helpful and valuable to someone. And then that'll lead to jobs and money and revenue and doing things you love. So post things that you like as well, and you'll get hired for it. We are at the last part of the hour. Does anyone have any other thoughts regarding that, regarding the mini posts, or anything else you want to add? Good. Everyone's good. Awesome. Wow. It was neatly wrapped up. Glad we're making progress, even though I forgot what that word was. Awesome. Okay. Well, then I will see you next week and in the group. And then anyone who's not in the Instagram pod, DM me and I'll add you. All right. I will see you guys later.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. See you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.